One of my goals for this channel is to talk about hidden gems, to show support for video games that don't get much attention or are completely forgotten about. I was looking up some information about console roguelike games and I randomly came across a game called Mystery Dungeon Shiren The Wanderer. This game is a part of the Mystery Dungeon series. This series has been around since the early 90s. It's a collection of roguelike games, or dungeon crawlers, depends on who you're talking to, but these games have different settings and spin-offs. The Merchant from Dragon Quest, Pokemon, and the Chocobos from Final Fantasy have their own set of Mystery Dungeon games, but I was more interested in Shiren The Wanderer. This guy is an original character, and his first game came out in 1995 on the Super Nintendo in Japan. It wasn't officially released in the US, but the game was translated by fans and made available to the internet. The first Shiren entry in the Mystery Dungeon series was also remade for the Nintendo DS, but in this video I'm talking about the original for the Super Nintendo. I consider this game a roguelike. For those that don't know what a roguelike game is, there has been debates going on about the definition for over 20 years. I'll just name 3 features of a roguelike using the general consensus from the community. 1. Permadeath. When your character dies, you have to start from the beginning, game over. 2. Turn-based gameplay, and 3. Randomly generated areas. Shiren has all 3 features. The goal of Shiren the Wanderer is to get through 30 different randomly generated areas. There are different towns in between the floors where you can shop, upgrade equipment, rest, and talk to locals. Standard role-playing stuff, but this is not your standard role-playing game. Once you leave a town and start making your way through an area, there's no going back. You can't leave that floor and run back to town to buy more healing items or get another scroll or weapon. No, you must get through that area with the items you have and find a way to survive. The permadeath and random features make this game really intense. There aren't shops where you can go in, pick an item, and buy 99 of it and go to the next floor. No. The items are randomly generated too, which means you have to cross your fingers and hope the next town with the shop has a bunch of items that you're looking for, maybe some healing items, or that scroll, or a decent weapon like a katana. That's the way it is. Each playthrough is different. When you travel through the areas, you don't know what you're gonna get. In one playthrough, I found a katana on the 4th floor. In another playthrough, I found a heavy shield lying around in that same area. And who knows, in the next playthrough, I could find a medicinal herb or an identify scroll in that same area. You have to take what this system gives you and figure out how to make the best of it and get to the next level. Sometimes you might get lucky and find the items you need. Other times you might get screwed over and find items you don't need or you already have. Either way, you gotta find a way to beat it. As I said before, you can't go back to town and buy 99 medicinal herbs. This game doesn't work like that. And that is a part of what makes Shiren the Wanderer so fun to me. The unknown. What will the next floor bring? What items will I find? What type of area will the game produce this time? The randomized areas can create a lot of tension. It's not always fair or even close to it. Sometimes you get put in positions that make you want to rip your fucking hair out, especially for a noob like me. For example, I was in a cave and level 10 was easy. I had no problems getting through it. It probably took me 20 seconds. But as soon as I got to level 11, things were different. I was confronted, bombarded by so many fucking monsters. If I had to guess, it was over a dozen at once, wandering through this small area trying to kill me. So many flame priests following me, trying to engulf me and my ally in flames. And I'm trying to escort a little girl so she can go home to her parents, but she's constantly getting attacked. I tried running to the exit, but I died and became just a name on a scoreboard. And that was the end of that playthrough. Shiren the Wanderer isn't a game for everyone. Some people might not like the random nature of the game, and I understand that. Sometimes it can be bullshit. Some people like the challenge and will just pick it up and play again, and others, they'll get tired of it. They like a little bit more control. They don't like the randomness, and I understand that. But for me, I like it. This game forces you to play by its rules. You deal with what they give you each level, and you must find a way to survive. That's pretty hardcore, and it appeals to me. There are different variables that can happen throughout your playthrough. Different traps like poison or a spring that knocks you to a different part of the level. A trapdoor that knocks you down a level. Something that will rush your shield and make it less effective. A trap that unleashes a bunch of enemies around you and more. Not all events are bad though. You can run into people that can help carry your items into storage, so it's not all bad. Your enemies are taking turns with you while you play the game, and they can also level up too, so they keep busy. If they kill a certain amount, they will transform into a stronger class, and if you're unlucky enough, you will run into an enemy known as the Ghost Musha. This enemy jumps into other enemies and makes them stronger, and it automatically levels them up and turns them into their next class, which can be a pain in the fucking ass, especially when two of them go into one enemy. You don't want to do that. So as soon as you see these fuckers, kill them immediately because you don't want them running around. Trust me, take that advice if you play this game. When you see the Ghost Musha, kill those fuckers. I remember going into a forest and fighting two skeleton mages, and one of them got stronger because of a Ghost Musha. And this motherfucker kept on pushing me to other parts of the map, making me disappear and jump up in another spot, and he even turned me into a rice ball, so for a couple of turns I'm attacking him as a little ball of rice. That's fucking hilarious. There are a nice variety of items in this game, different weapons like staffs, katanas, and clubs, and different scrolls. Some of them are offensive, you can attack with them. Other scrolls like the knockback scroll can help you out in a tough fight. You can knock enemies back with this so you can have a little room to move and maybe escape that dungeon before you die. The Purify scroll helps you fix the cursed item. The Crisis scroll helps you in a tough situation and heals a lot of health right when you need it. There's also different little things that herbs can do. One of the herbs can transform you into a little monster, and that's always hilarious, running around with a little bow trying to shoot enemies when you transform into this creature. I enjoyed my time with this game and will definitely go back to it in the future and hopefully beat it. I got to level 20 before I got owned, and thanks to emulation, I used some save states, so I cheated a bit. But to be frank, this game can be really tough, and I'm a noob, so take that into account. I'm not good at this game at all, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not reviewing it, because I haven't beat it yet. So that's why I'm talking about this, because I really want this game to get more attention. And when I was playing this game, I got really lucky, especially when I entered Table Mountains. I probably didn't level up or take advantage of the shops. I was running for my life half the time I was in that area. I had to use some scrolls just to get away from minotaurs and master chickens. Yes, this game has buff chickens that punch you. Really interesting, right? I think so. There were several moments I was just rushing through the areas, hoping the next corner is the exit, trying to avoid enemies and get to the next rest area. It was exciting and really fucking intense. I had some lucky moments. In one area, I was across a river from 3 tough enemies, but they couldn't get to me, so I just sat there and shot arrows at them without any resistance, and I got a couple of quick levels doing that. And did I mention I went through this run with a cursed katana? I bought it from the shop thinking that I was lucky, but no, it was cursed, meaning it was weaker than a regular katana, and I couldn't unequip it because it was cursed. I couldn't upgrade it either, so I had to find a Purify scroll, and I couldn't find one throughout that playthrough. Shiren The Wanderer has an excellent atmosphere. It has a nice variety of areas, including mountains, forests, caverns, and etc. It also has a nice variety of enemies. Master chickens, minotaurs, flame priests, little archers, little pigs that I think they're pigs. They run around in things that look like tanks shooting cannonballs at you, and other stuff like that. So there's a nice variety with its atmosphere. I also like the way the game looks. I'm a big fan of the SNES, the Genesis, that generation of consoles, and I've always liked that 16-bit art, or I believe it's 16-bit, yeah. 16-bit. I've always been interested in the way those games look. And this game takes place in a fantasy version of feudal Japan, and I've always been interested in that setting. Scrolls, swords, magic, and more. I just love it. When I was thinking of which mystery dungeon game to play, I picked Shiren because of the cover. It looked cool as fuck and I had to play it. This game also has a fantastic soundtrack. Seriously, it's one of the best I've heard on the SNES. You have to look it up. I recommend this game, and if you're into roguelikes, RPGs, or dungeon crawlers, this game will especially appeal to you. I do plan on making more videos like this in the future about hidden gems or maybe other games. I can't do my standard review format for every game I play because I don't beat every game I play, and I have a list of games that I'm trying to review and I'm slowly going through it, so that takes up most of my YouTube time. But I can still talk about games like this and tell you what I like about it and tell you whether or not I recommend it based off what I've played so far and give you my experiences. I think this will add more content to the channel, so if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. Have a great day.